Hi and welcome to this week's Friday live trading video. It is about 8 o'clock, and so this is my third attempt at the introduction. I was going to start a Good Morning Vietnam themed, movie themed intro, but that didn't work, so I've gone back to normal. Okay, so it's about 8 o'clock. Looking at the euro dollar, the euro dollar's come up again yesterday, so let's go out and have a quick look at it. Here's the daily chart. It's been coming up. It's got close to 113. I would quite like to see it get to 113. So it's just going to be, it's pulling back at the moment. If it pulls back to my lower bands, I'm going to buy it at my bands. Okay, this is on the hourly chart here. So I'm going to do a band play this morning. It's just about sneaked to new highs above these, but you could also argue these are just making marginal new highs, so maybe it's going to fall away. And when I look at some of the other markets, I was just saying to the guys in the trading room here, you look at the pound and that's really not up to much, and the Aussie dollar gave its gains back yesterday and not up to too much. So I'm fully aware of that, so we'll just position size accordingly and just put a small position in and just see how it gets on. But yeah, the euro, the potential to get to that 113 zone, I think is still there. So it's hit on the 4-hour chart here, a 4-hour 200 moving average, my yellow line there. So I'm well aware that it's hit some resistance there, but at the same time, psychological round number, we're getting close to it. I'd like to see it get hit. So if we can come down to the lower bands here, it's only not many pips away. As you can see, it's down at around about 112.82, 81. It'll come down to about 81 as if price starts coming down towards it. That's where I will buy the euro dollar today with a stop. Oh, it's going to be not much of a stop at all. Just down here, what's that? About 70, 69, somewhere like that. So looking on the hourly chart, it's not a very big range at the moment on the euro. So, and even that feels like a big stop. So looking at the size of the chart, so about 69 I'll put the stop at. Outside of that, there has been some nice runs. The dollar yen had a terrific run yesterday, and again overnight it's continued that. So if we go to the daily charts here on the dollar yen, nice run. So you would think that that's going to have more upside, looking at how it's reversed here off of its daily 50, off its lower bands on the daily chart, and you would think that's probably got some more upside in it over the coming days. But of course, right now on the intraday, very difficult to justify just buying right here up here. It would need to do some sort of pullback. What else is there? Yeah, looking at the other markets though, the Aussie dollar was a bit of a surprise because I thought that was after Wednesday's update. I thought that was a shoe-in for the 200 on the daily chart up here, and then yesterday sort of gave it back. So it'll be interesting to see how the Aussie dollar gets on today. Can the Aussie dollar sort of hold and then just creep its way up a bit? And before we know it, by this afternoon, it's in the 71.40s or so, and starting to prepare itself to maybe go higher again on Monday. So that's how I'm sort of looking at the markets here this morning. We'll see about the Aussie. I'm just sitting back and watching that one. But we'll see if the euro can let me in. I'm pretty sure it will come down to the band. It's trading within its bands, so it should at least hit the lower bands as a minimum now anyway. So then it's just a case of, can it hold? I'll give it that stop, put a stop down there at 69 and target 113 and maybe a little bit more. So it could be coming up any moment. I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back, and we're just coming into that band now, so I'm just going to hit it. It's about 82, so there we go. I'm just putting the one small unit in there this morning. So just hit that at 82.9. It's been filled at. So let's get a let's get the stop sorted. 112.69. 112.69. So basically, I've put the stop, but just below the hourly 50. Really, I mean, when I'm taking something like a band trade, you have to give the band a bit of room for a price to overshoot, because price can overshoot and then bounce back up. A bit like on that dollar yen I was just showing on the daily charts. But you don't need to give it, a huge amount. So it's just a case of, can it hold here, and then go for that, work its way up maybe this morning to that 113 zone being the round number. Now, if it can get up to the 113 zone, what I'll do by then I'll trail my stop up, but I would still quite like to see this zone over here. So there's the psychological area which I would like to think that price will get drawn towards. We'll see. If it does get drawn towards that, it may then react and bounce around there. But what I would like to see is this level here attacked, and that's at around about 113.20. So if I put my cursor on there, it's sort of 26 is those highs, so I'll call it around about 20, but actually it can go up to 30, 20, between 20 and 30. So that's what I would look to do with it. So if it can get up there, so that's what I'm looking for there. So we'll see how this gets on here this morning. I'm going to press pause and carry on chatting with the guys in the trading room. Okay, just back. So we can see the euros bouncing here off the bands. So it's having a nice bounce within the bands. It's typical of what happens with the bands. They're very off. They have a high frequency of bouncing within them. But what we need is follow through. So we don't know if we're going to get that as yet. So we've had a bounce within the bands. We need follow through to push through to that 113 figure. And if we can get to the 113 figure, as I was saying earlier on, what I really want is 113, that 113.20 zone. But if we can get up to the 113 figure, then I'll start managing the stop a little bit anyway. So we're just playing a waiting game here this morning. Okay, just back. We can see that the euro's breaking up here. It's just nudging 113 here. So I am going to be looking to move that stop up. So I've said to the guys here that we will move. Now once we get to that 113 zone, I've moved the stop up to 112.78. Okay, so let's do some trade management for a change. 78. So there you go, 112.78. So, but I'm looking for 113.20. As I've said earlier, it's this zone over there that I'm looking for. So not drawn that on very well, but 113.20. If we go out to the daily chart, we've got the daily 50 here, which is my black line, but as we can see, that's been tested many times. So I'm really looking at price levels rather than moving averages there. So as far as momentum's concerned, it's going to be starting to creep in here on the 4-hour chart, so we'll see if it can follow through. It could still not follow through. If it could just come up to 113 like it's done here. I think it hit about 99, 98 and a half, 99. It could still, back off from there, being the big round number. But if it can break through, then that's the next technical level, is that 113.20 to 30 zone. So we'll see how we go. I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back. The euro, as we can see, is still breaking up here, so having a nice run. We're actually in a position to move the stop up a few more points to 81 now, which is that low. So let's just trail that up to 81. Because if it comes all the way back down now, I'm not going to be, and breaks that low now, I'm not interested. So the entry was at just below 83, wasn't it? 82.9. So call it 112.83. The stop's now at 112.81. So yeah, I'm not going to be interested in this now. It's had a nice break up. I don't mind it pulling back and consolidating, but reality is I'd want it to hold above this last low, pullback low that we made here. So we'll see how that goes. But at least the stop's up to that zone. But we want it to hold. So we're still targeting that 113.20 zone. I'll go back to it again. It's this zone over here, about where my cursor is. It's actually, my cursor's at around about 23 actually, so might be a little bit just above 113.20, but I'm not going to get too fussy there. It's that zone there. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So there's not really much more to do with it other than to sit on it and see if it can work its way up there today. We don't know. There's not a lot of news out today, so just a case of whether it has the oomph to get up there. We shall see. I'll press pause. Okay, just back, and I've just realised I'm going to be going off to the gym shortly, and I might as well put a limit order in because 113.20 at 113.20 because we're actually only 8 pips away. Now 113.20, I've said it's the 113.20 to 30 zone is what I'm looking at, but I'm quite happy to say 113.20. Got in at 112.82 area, so I'd be happy enough with that as a run for the euro because it is a decent day. Look at the size of the day as well. You know, it's one of the biggest days we've had in recent weeks, apart from this day here. So certainly if it goes up another 8 pips, so I'm not going to try and keep stretching it out for more and more pips, even though it's probably going to be one of those days. It's always the way, isn't it? It's Murphy's Law that you put a target in and then it just goes and blasts another 50 pips beyond it and has a crazy day. So, but anyway, we'll leave it at that as far as targets are concerned. We'll see how it gets on. I'll be back later. Okay, just back, and as we can see, the euros carried on coming up here this morning. It's now 12 o'clock, and we are 3 or 4 pips away from hitting target. So I've bought the ticket up. The order's in, so it's going to automatically take it when it gets there. But you'll just see this trade ticket disappear if it can get up there. So we shall see. So we've got. And now, usually, whenever I do this, and I joke with the guys in the trading room that, you know what happens, if we go and do this, then it tops out and it doesn't quite get there because you're recording it, you're live recording it, and then you're waiting for it to actually get there. Come on then, you know, I've pressed play now. Are you going to do this? So we're 2 pips away, but sometimes it can still take an eternity. So I thought it always nice if you can catch it live, so to speak, when you've got an order in and you're doing this, but it doesn't always work that way. So let's just give it a minute, a few seconds maybe. But like I've said on my recordings this morning, on this video today, I still think that the euro's got that 113 to 130 zone. When I showed you the 4-hour charts, that's where the price resistance is, just a little bit higher. So I've put the order in just at the low end of that target zone. So because it's still enough from where we got in this morning, right at the lower band. Look on the bands here today. So it's a perfect band entry today. It literally didn't look back, did it? And sometimes they overshoot a bit, you know, and all that. You expect that, but not today. It was just bounced straight away. So we're just waiting to see if we can get up there. Okay, well, it looks like I'm going to have to press pause because it's now not doing. Okay, just back, and we have obviously hit the 20 zone, as you can see. The tickets just disappeared while I had it on pause. Typical, isn't it? Well, I was just doing something else. But okay, let's take a screenshot of the trade, so where we entered and the likes. At the moment, sorry about the smaller position sizes here at the moment, but I'm so full. I've been like this for the last few months, really. I'm in so many positions on a swing basis that I'm only trading very small when I'm actually doing anything live here. But so we got an I got an 82.9 and then just got out at 113.20, so about 37 pips. Is that right? Something like that. Yeah. So that's the trade for today. But like I've said, this could still go a bit higher on the based on that 4-hour chart yet. But we were happy enough with that first level. What else have I got to say here? Important stuff. Okay, yeah. Sam's asked me to remind you about the DST. Now, we're in the middle of the DST. We've got the brand new content that's come out on that. I've just had another testimonial come in this morning on a private message in our trading room. I've taken his name off because he said no, he doesn't want to be named, but sent me a private message this morning saying I got into the Aussie dollar on the 8th of March, yada yada yada. And if it gets to its target, which is looking like it, he's going to get a 1 to 23 risk to reward. And now he said, I hope it hasn't jinxed it. I said, could you write a testimonial? He said, sure, if it gets there, haha. Anyway, so that's another testimonial for DST, and I would encourage you, if you want to trade on a swing basis, you're too busy to sit here like I'm doing today, doing intraday trading. You haven't got the time to do that because you've got full-time jobs, whatever. Do check out easytrader.com/divergent-swing-trading, or just go straight to it over here. It's under courses, and check all of that out, because it is a terrific way to swing trade the markets. All right, anyway, that's it. That's the live trading done for today. I shall see you next week.